Captain, are we able to
But
reach?
it's not A+, just so you know. Okay.
Are we able to reach out to our counterparts at Port Angeles or the stations to start talking to them about this transition?
Can we reach out to our counterparts and start talking about the transition? Right now, the plan for the transition is still being developed between Air Station and the command cadre here at Sector Seattle. So I'd like you not necessarily to have direct, reach out quite yet, but Captain Pollock and I will be, giving that clue and saying, okay, here's the plan and here's the tasking and here's the Tiger teams that we need volunteers for, and you'll start seeing that communication in the next 4 or 5 weeks, along with the Olympics. So not quite yet. You don't need to call your counterpart yet, quite yet.
Write down your good ideas, though.
But yeah, if you think of something right now that you're like, oh, this SOP, I'd like to change this. Well, write it down now, because even if you're not in the Tiger team, you'll find out that there is one, and hopefully you'll find out who's on it, and you can tell them. Okay? Yes?
John Warner, Air Auxiliary. I'm making the assumption that we're going to stay under operational control of Air Station Port Angeles?
Yes, the auxiliary air is going to be under Air Station Port Angeles. That's going to be consistent. I don't see an auxiliary change in operations for the air assets at all. I want your profession to be handled by professionals that know what gravity is.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, yeah, that was just for Master Chief. So that's a good question. What about auxiliary surface or shore? Well, there are a few divisions that we're working with right now, just preliminarily. I'm really quite hoping that the auxiliary helps us with these Tiger teams so that we make sure that anything we write has auxiliary in it. And I continue to work with the Commodore and the district captains, did I get it right? The district captains to work through how this might change. Yes?
Kevin, I have 2 questions. Just for context, this in my head sounds like one of the biggest operational commands in the Coast Guard. Do you have a sense of how this ranks with the other sectors, New York, say, or Guam?
Yeah, well, every sector is the best sector. So next week I get to go to the Sector Command Conference with 37 of my peers, and I win all the throwdowns, just so you know. Right now is Sector Seattle. And what the question was how big is Sector Puget Sound going to be compared to other sectors in the Coast Guard? It depends on if you go geography, if you go workload, or if you go people, or if you go assets. So, who has bragging rights to the biggest sector? New York and New Orleans have probably the biggest in numbers and the biggest in workload. Geography-wise, Sector Juneau has geography because they count like all of that Alaska stuff. It's just like not really true because they don't have ships up there. But the commandant's going for his Arctic thing, so maybe they'll have more work. But they have geography in square miles. But I like to say Sector Puget Sound will be number 3 because we've got maybe not as many people as New York and New Orleans, but when we combine the number of people, the amount of work, and the geography together, I don't think anyone can deny that we'll be number 3.
And then one other question, Captain, was what's going to happen to the WQSB? Is that going to be on hold for a little while, or is it going to sort of grow naturally?
I wonder how that's going to come in the camera. They just had a question about whether we're going to put the watch quarter station bill on hold. Can you imagine putting the watch quarter station bill on hold?
I didn't
That is a
suggest we
great
should.
question, Lieutenant Hanley. Because you allow me to reiterate that the incident command system is alive and well, and during this transition we're going to use it. The watch quarter station bill will be updated using the new Sector Puget Sound PAL, which really from Sector Puget Sound will only be about 12 more people added to the watch quarter station bill, frankly. And right now, on the watch quarter station bill, the station and the ant are not included in our watch quarter station bill for the sector, and that will remain. The operations section sheet's just going to have more assets. The resource unit leader is just going to have more assets to deal with and work with. But they have their own, right? You have your own watch quarter station bill in the station. And the ant, I know the ant has theirs. So they'll have their own command and control, and there'll be resources under the Sector Puget Sound. So the actual watch quarter station bill, just a few additions in Ms. Rextel's world, and at some point we'll all know where that is on the W drive. Right now it's on the B drive, but it'll go on the W drive somewhere in the near future. A couple other administrative things that you didn't ask about, but I know about, so I'll just kind of make a bookmark. We are going to be moving to a new website. This is Coast Guard wide. We're getting rid of the portal, or we're going to a portal. I don't know how that works, but in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're getting a new website location, and the plan is to really start using that website. Isn't that exciting? And using that website for this transition and for you. So that's one of our internal outreach goals, is to make that website helpful. Put in, draft SOP, OOP, so that you can see what we're doing. Put in the watch quarter station bill so you can see where you are. Put in things like this with your name so you can see that, and start giving you and feeding you information. Now my understanding is that's a website that you can access from home, so you can be in your bunny slippers and look at it. And I don't know if you need the card. You would just need to have the CAP reader on your computer in order to get at it. So it will be reserve friendly and auxiliary friendly, I think. Not positive about the auxiliary part, but we'll work on that. Okay?
5 more minutes.
One. Yep. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Stop the film. Thank you very much for looking at me on the film there.